I'm going to be very careful what I say in this video. I'm going to try to stick to just reading what the article says, but some very interesting research from my alma mater, Stanford, came out, I think, a day or two ago, basically detailing how the mRNA COVID vaccines can trigger heart inflammation, and in some very rare cases, as they state in this article, can lead to long term issues and death. But more often than not, the article says these issues self resolve. Hopefully, this opens the door to more research that can prevent this stuff from happening in the future. And maybe this provides some validation and vindication to people that were saying this for a long time. But I highlighted some of the interesting parts of the article, and I want to share these with you. So, first, let's start with the summary. Stanford scientists have uncovered how mRNA COVID-19 vaccines can very rarely trigger heart inflammation in young men and how that risk might be reduced. They found that the vaccines can spark a two-step immune reaction that floods the body with inflammatory signals, drawing aggressive immune cells into the heart and causing temporary injury. So it's important to note that this vaccine, in some very rare cases, causes people's own immune system to inflame the heart, and that inflammation can lead to damage. By combining modern laboratory techniques with previously published data from vaccinated individuals, the team uncovered a two-stage immune response. In this process, the vaccine activates one type of immune cell, which then stimulates another. Together, these immune reactions drive inflammation that can damage heart muscles and set off additional inflammatory effects. The findings come despite the fact that mRNA COVID-19 vaccines have been given billions of times worldwide and continue to show an excellent safety record. The mRNA vaccines have done a tremendous job mitigating the COVID pandemic. Without these vaccines, more people would have gotten sick, more people would have had severe effects, and more people would have died. mRNA vaccines are considered a major advance because they can be developed quickly, adjusted as viruses change, and tailored to target very different pathogens. Still, as with any medical intervention, reactions are not identical for everyone. Wu emphasized that the majority of myocarditis cases linked to vaccination resolve quickly, with heart function either fully preserved or restored. It's not a heart attack in the traditional sense, he said. There's no blockage of blood vessels as found in most common heart attacks. When symptoms are mild and the inflammation hasn't caused structural damage to the heart, we just observe these patients to make sure they recover. In rare instances, however, severe inflammation can cause serious injury, leading to hospitalization, intensive care treatment, or death. But COVID's worse, he said. He noted that a COVID-19 infection is about 10 times more likely to cause myocarditis than an mRNA-based COVID-19 vaccine, in addition to the many other risks posed by the disease. Medical scientists are quite aware that COVID itself can cause myocarditis, he said. To a lesser extent, so can the mRNA vaccines. The question is why. Two proteins named CXCL10 and IFN gamma popped up. We think these two are the major drivers of myocarditis. Both CXCL10 and IFN gamma are cytokines, signaling molecules that immune cells use to communicate and coordinate their activity. To determine whether these cytokines directly harm the heart, the team vaccinated young male mice and observed increased cardiac troponin levels indicating heart muscle injury. They also found that immune cells, including macrophages and neutrophils, had entered heart tissue. Neutrophils are short-lived immune cells that respond aggressively to threats and are a major component of pus. Similar immune cell infiltration is seen in people who develop myocarditis after vaccination. Together, these findings confirm that CXCL10 and IFN gamma directly contribute to heart injury. Blocking them preserves much of the immune response to vaccination, while lowering signals of heart damage. Wu suspected that a widely available dietary compound might help protect the heart. Since myocarditis is more common in males and estrogen has anti-inflammatory effects, he revisited genistein, a soy-derived compound his team had studied previously. Genistein is only weakly absorbed when taken orally, Wu said. Nobody ever overdosed on tofu. The team repeated their experiments while pre-treating cells, cardiac spheroids, and mice, the latter by oral administration of large quantities with genistein. This treatment reduced much of the heart damage caused by either mRNA vaccination or the CXCL10 and IFN gamma combination. It's reasonable to believe that the mRNA vaccine induced inflammatory response may extend to other organs. We and others have some evidence of this in lung, liver, and kidney. It's possible that genistein may also reverse these changes. So, all in all, maybe some people find this validating. I think the interesting points are, one, that they said this can lead to death in some very rare cases. They admitted that the vaccine can cause heart inflammation in some rare cases, while also noting that COVID-19 vaccination seems to do this at a higher frequency. One thing to note, obviously this affects young males more, probably because they have less estrogen. I'm not a biologist or a doctor, so who knows? I'm just kind of abstracting based off this article. But yeah, it seems like the more estrogen you have, the more protected you are from this effect. And one thing that's interesting, I kind of cross-checked this with AI, but I know Japan reported less deaths overall, and I know they eat heavily estrogen causing foods like soy. So I don't know, maybe there's a link there. It might be interesting for people to do some research and abstract that a little bit more. But either way, this is some interesting new research that came out December 27th. That's yesterday. I guess we'll see where this goes. Maybe this opens the door for more research on this topic.